Divine Grace Abay. Before we dive into the main purpose of this video, I must ask, what is Global Code of Ethics? Well, Global Code of Ethics for Tourism sets a frame of reference for the responsible and sustainable development of world tourism. It draws inspiration from many similar declarations and industry codes that have come before, and it adds new thinking that reflects our changing society at the beginning of the 21st century. So, here are the code's 10 articles. Article 1. Tourism's contribution to mutual understanding and respect between peoples and society. This means that responsible tourism necessitates an attitude of tolerance for diversity. Tourists and local hosts are encouraged to respect each other's social and cultural customs and practices and to learn more about them. Visitors should learn about the culture of their destination, while host communities should learn about tourists' diverse lives and expectations. Example, you went to a destination for vacation. So when you stay there, eventually you will interact with the people there, and as you interact, there shouldn't be any judgments involved. Then you get to know their culture and they get to know yours. It's like give and take, as tourism must always be a contributor to spread respect and understanding, not the other way around. Article 2. Tourism as a vehicle for individual and collective fulfillment. It means that personal and societal learning and knowledge are greatly aided to tourism. Gender equality and human rights should be promoted in tourism, especially for the most vulnerable ones, like the children, ethnic minorities, and indigenous peoples. Furthermore, religious, health, educational, and cultural travel are all encouraged. When practiced with an open mind, it is an indispensable component of self-education, mutual tolerance, and learning about the legitimate differences between peoples and cultures, as well as their diversity. Example, when you travel to a place, you shouldn't judge people there because they have many differences from you. Instead, get to know them with an open mind. Think of it as an opportunity to learn more about the world. Article 3. Tourism, a factor of sustainable development. It means that our natural environment should be protected by all tourism stakeholders in order to achieve healthy, consistent, and sustainable economic growth that is directed towards equally satisfying all sectors, both desires and requirements of the current and future generations. Let us all remember that we only have one world, and all of us living in it is the one responsible to whatever may happen to it. Same as goes to any tourist spot or destination and natural heritage or resources around the world. It will always be a responsibility to take care of these things. So once it is damaged, it may or may not be restored again, and there will be nothing that we can give to our grandchildren, the one who we borrows everything we see today. So even in a small way, we must all cooperate and follow the signs, examples, the signs that you see when you go to tourist spots and says, leave no trace, or bag your trash, or perhaps the strict rules you have to follow in there. Our government are implementing some ways to protect our environment, and there are also many programs implemented that they make that would protect and preserve the environment. Article 4. Tourism, a user of the cultural heritage of mankind and contributor to its enhancement. This means that the resources of tourism are part of humanity's common heritage. The communities in which they are found are part of that heritage, and they have special rights and obligations or responsibilities to the countries on whose territories they are located. Tourism policies and activities should strive to protect and pass on this cultural heritage to future generations. Tourism activity must encourage traditional cultural products, crafts, and folklore to survive and flourish. Example, in our country, the Philippines, every year we get thousands and thousands of international visitors. I know what I'll say next may sound bad, but it's true. One of Filipinos' many nature is copying what current trends, the internet, or perhaps copying the tourists because we think they're beautiful. Her style is so good, so we copy them. And in doing so, we're slowly erasing our own culture, traditions, which is one of the reasons why tourists visit us. Tourism shouldn't be like this. It is okay to idolize someone, but we must remember that it is our responsibility to preserve our culture and make it flourish. Article 5. Tourism a beneficial activity for host countries and communities. It means that tourism operations should be related with local communities and they should share equitably in the economic, social, and cultural advantages they provide, particularly in the development of direct and indirect jobs. Example, because of tourism, we have now many available jobs like jobs at the airport, souvenir shops, many hotels, and all. Article 6. Obligations of stakeholders in tourism development. It suggests that tourists have a right to expect objective and honest information from tourism providers. Tourism professionals, government agencies, and administrations are urged to work together to improve tourist safety and satisfaction. The press should also give accurate and balanced coverage of circumstances and events that may have an impact on tourism. They should ensure that the contractual clauses proposed to their customers are easily understandable in terms of the nature, price, and quality of the services they commit themselves to providing. There shouldn't be any fraudery. Everything and everyone in this industry must be honest and true to their clients, which are the tourists. Because in every industry or businesses, there is nothing like honesty that could buy the customer's loyalty and trust. Article 7. Right to tourism. It is the idea of having direct and intimate access to the exploration and enjoyment of the natural world. The freedom to use the Earth's resources is a right that all persons in the globe have. Tourism is a universal right. Increased involvement in national and international tourism should be seen as one of the best conceivable representations of the sustained growth of free time. As such, obstacles to participating in tourism need to be removed. Tourism for families, youth, students, seniors, and people with disabilities should be facilitated. Example, in Japan, their public transportation like train or bus have tools that could help wheelchair people to go in and out of the bus or train. With this amazing invention, it encourages people who have this kind of incapability to not be afraid to travel as they know that their disability won't be a hindrance anymore. Article 8. Liberty to tourist movements. It means that in accordance with international and national legislation, tourists and visitors should gain. They should have access to places or transit and stay, as well as tourism and cultural sites without being subjected to excessive formalities or discrimination in accordance with Article 13 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Example, a tourist falls sick can be treated in every hospital. Another example, if a person who practices Islam religion comes to Zacatecas, he can make use of the services without discrimination. Article 9. Rights of workers and entrepreneurs in the tourism industry. This article makes the fundamental rights of workers and entrepreneurs in the tourism industry must be observed and guaranteed by governments. They should have the right to continuous training and development, as well as to adequate social protection, given the seasonal nature of several jobs in the industry. This will ensure a very consistent great service, and all workers do deserve this kind of right. Example, a flight attendant in Emirates Airline, they undergo in continuous trainings every year and in every promotion they get, and they are also given health and life insurance, long-term disability insurance, and retirement plans. They also receive discounts on hospitality services like hotels, cruises, rental vehicles, and more. Article 10. Implementation of the principles of the Global Code of Ethics for Tourism. This means that to implement and monitor these principles, public and private tourism stakeholders, as well as international institutions and non-government organizations, must cooperate. It is their job and responsibilities because they're the one at the top, and this is what true leaders do, implementing ways not just for the betterment of the people, but also for the environment. And that's all. Thank you.